Hi, lovelies. I have no idea whether or not this is. Oh, well, I think we're live. Welcome to this session. So, the lovely Virginia asked me to put together a bit of a training for you guys. It more in line with some of the challenges that you guys are coming up with regards to sales and actually making some money. So, the topic that I decided to do today was around how like really trying to understand like why you aren't earning what you want and what is the things that you need to know in order to discover your worth so that you can start creating the value and the money that you want to. Does that sound good? Okay, great. So if you're watching this live, let me know. If you're catching the replay, just let hashtag replay. And I'd love to know where in the world you are as well. I am in sunny Australia, so it's just after 8 a.m. So bright and sunny, and yeah, time to get started on the weekend. So this is a really quick training. It's probably one of the shorter ones that I would normally do, but there's lots of really good value in here. So my goal by the end of this mini masterclass is for you to know what's holding you back and what steps you need to take to discover your worth. Okay, so worth and money are so interconnected that often a lot of people don't actually know that they've got that unconscious stuff happening that's holding their abundance back. But I want you to make a promise over the next 30 minutes, just create some space for you. So if you've got kids at home, if you're looking after someone, just try and create 30 minutes just for you. So it's the phone off so that you can really get into this stuff. Because the stuff that I teach helps you go into the unconscious, right? So everything that we do happens at an unconscious level. So until we bring it into our conscious awareness, we've got no idea why we do certain things. We're just at the end of whatever that pattern, behavior, or feeling is because of a certain situation or stimulus. So, but what I also want you to know is that this stuff only works if you do the work, right? It only works if you work. But if you're prepared to let go of your old stories, your old paradigms, be able to bring that stuff that's been sitting in your unconscious out into the world so that it can lose its power and you can regain what it is that you want, this stuff works magically. It's incredible the changes I've seen with people when I teach them how to do this sort of stuff. I've seen people who've had like 4 or 5 panic attacks a week go to none in the space of a 4-hour session. Okay, so this stuff working. Would that be amazing if you can like really get into your mind and pull out all the stuff that doesn't work and get all the stuff that does work and make that louder and bigger and more amplified? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, we're going to do a little section of this today. But can I have your permission? So as I go through this, I am going to share nothing but value with you guys, right? I'm going to teach my little heart out. But if you're going through this and you're like, wow, I've got all this stuff going on, and you're saying to yourself, oh my God, that's me. I can't believe, like, what is she inside my head? Stick around to the end. I want to have you guys' permission if I can give you a solution to your problem. Okay. And if it's not for you and you're just like, yep, good stuff, I'd love to, brilliant. But all good as well, right? No one's answering me, so if I get to the end and I've got enough time, I'm going to do it anyway. All right, brilliant. So does this sound like you? Do you wake up knowing that? Do you want to actually? So before we get to the other stuff, like, would you love to wake up in the morning knowing that money's just flowing to you and you feel really excited about your business, but you just don't know how to up your game? Do you watch others getting ahead, doing the same things that you do, but you're not just getting the same results and you can't replicate it? This one was a big one for me to try and like actually jump on this journey of finding out why other people were better than me, even though I perceived them as the same as me. So, like, are you tired of working really hard and not seeing the results of the return on your investments? I know I was. Are you struggling to ask and receive payment for your hard work? Like, do you give loads of stuff away for free? Or do you discount yourself? Are you not even asking to go into the sale? Inviting people along, getting out of your comfort zone. And are you going around in circles, getting stuck in the loop of confusion and frustration? So it's like, you've got this inside you screaming, saying, let's get out, like, come on, we can do this. But then there's that something that just keeps pulling you back and stopping you from achieving the stuff that you want to. If that's all you, or even just some of it, stick with me and let's go. All right, so most of what you've been told about success and money in business is wrong, okay? So all the stuff that I see and all the stuff that I've done, don't get me wrong, all the stuff that I see and all the stuff that I've done, that they're like, oh, you need systems, you need processes, you need a product and blah, blah, blah. And yes, to a certain degree, that is the thing that creates money and success. But the foundational piece of success and money being able to flow into your business, into you, and into your bank account is that you really need to have a system that allows you to connect to your deepest sense of worth, so you can share your story without feeling shame or doubt or fear, and you can allow abundance to flow to you. And that's because you're missing the soul ignition system. And once we're like fully connected into ourselves, no one can shake us. And when people start asking us for discounts and all this kind of stuff, we can go, no, because we know our worth, we know our value. We get up, we ask the question, do you want to come and experience this stuff because it's so good? Because you believe it. So let's talk a little bit, right? So one thing that you need to know is that successful businesswomen bring in more customers and more revenue by owning their worth, their identity, and their results. Okay, so often what I see, and it's been my own experience, is like when you don't value yourself, when you don't know who you are, and when you don't really know how you're going to achieve stuff, everything's really hard. Because you don't put yourself out there, you won't put yourself at risk. The fear that ends up traveling around ends up being the biggest thing that stops activity, which stops you letting people know what you're doing, which makes you chop and change over and over again. But successful leaders, successful business people are one who kind of have this ability to get super focused, right? They figure out, what am I worth? I've spent all these years doing this. I've spent all this money doing this, and I know that I'm good. They have an internal checklist that allows them to say, this is how much I'm worth. And it doesn't matter what anybody says or what you think other people are thinking. That's a good one. That causes people to doubt who they are, doubt their belief in who they can be, about what they can achieve, the results that they can get. And it ends up repelling all this stuff instead of bringing it closer. Does that make sense? Is that like anyone, if you're watching the replay, just let me know, like, is that stuff that goes on for you? So just to give you a little bit of information about me. So who am I and why am I here? So my name is Ellie McGraw. I'm the founder of a Big Switch community, which is a community and a place for women who are ready to step out of the shadows, who are ready to align and fully embody their leadership, their authenticity, and really start to make a profit and an impact on the world, because they're aligned with who they are and they are fully taking charge. They're not living life by default anymore. And this is just I was going back through and I was like, this is kind of weird, the difference. So this was me in July 2018. And this is my little boy, Archie. So he is 2.5 now. And he this was probably the turning point for me, in that I was struggling before. Like, I had set up this business, but I was afraid to go out and get customers. I was chopping and changing who my niche market was, who I wanted to work with, and each time I get to a certain point, and if any resistance at all would come up, I'd be like, oh no, I can't do it. I'm like, oh, let's do this over here. Oh, let's do this over here. And when I come back from maternity leave, I had no business because I had taken time off. I didn't have systems, I didn't have processes, I didn't even have a customer base, because I was so afraid to go out there and actually pull people close to me, because I knew that I had something that they needed and wanted. And so sitting there, this is the first day back, I'd gone to a co-working space because I knew I wouldn't be able to do anything at home with the baby. And they had an on-site daycare. And this is the point where, all the things that had gone in my life were being massively amplified. I'd realized how I'd lost my financial independence. I realized how angry I was at the situation that I put myself in. And I was angry that I didn't have these customers and blah, blah, blah. So with my confidence through the floor, with, doubt and fear and everything riddling around my body, I was like, okay, let's go. And so I just started coaching anyone who needed it. I was like, yeah, okay. And the second picture is about 3 months after I went to a conference called She Leads the Way. And one of the questions in this forum was, how are you a leader in your life? And for me, I went, oh my God, I'm not. It was more the leader in your life thing that really got me, because I was like, hang on, I'm just doing everything by default. I'm just, experiencing what I need to experience. I'm not taking anything by charge. I'm not owning anything. I'm not putting myself out there, both in my business and in my relationship and in the family. It was all just kind of like, okay, we'll just do whatever, and floating around. And the more over this weekend, I kind of delved into that, like, who am I as a leader for me? Not outside of that, but for me, like, who am I? And I think, many of us who become mothers, we do end up losing a bit of ourselves. But because I'd lost that, I also knew that, because I didn't have anything prior to that, right? I didn't really know who I was. I didn't know what I was capable of. I didn't know what I was here to do, because I was so afraid of allowing that stuff to come to me, because, oh, what if I did it? And often I felt that fear of rejection was more the fear, like, the more I know of it now, is more the fear of success. So just with regards to the actual selling thing, I worked in outbound sales jobs for 12 years, right? And I was scared stiff of making cold calls, like scared stiff. I would do everything I could apart from making a cold call, because I was so afraid of screwing up. I was so afraid that, people would catch me. They'd know I wasn't as good as I pretended to be. And, it's funny to me now, because I was like, for 12 years, I crucified myself. So inside, I had this internal dialogue going on of like, you're so shit. Like, why would anyone want to, why are you even doing this? But the competitive bit in me was like, I wanted the commission. I wanted the money. I loved it when I got someone, like, if it was warm, brilliant. I could do that easy. But if it was cold and they didn't know me, super hard. Like, I was paralyzed to try and make that connection. But I would do everything I could to warm it. So all my relationships in the office were brilliant. So that I could bring people to me and offer, they would give me things to work. So your biggest secrets, right? Is actually, before that, so just let me know, who has that voice inside their head? Is it a nice voice, or is it a not so nice voice? And just kind of connect into that. If you're aware of it, if you're not aware of it, and just let me know. I'll be monitoring the comments after. If you kind of know what that internal voice is for you. But here's your biggest secrets. These are the biggest secrets that you need to know. These are the things that will keep you on the right path, that will have you achieving great things once you know the answers to all of these questions. What is your why? Why you? Why this, or whatever your solution is, and why now? And I'm going to talk about these in more detail in a minute. But just think about this. Now, this is the deepest knowing that you have, right? Why? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Like, why is this so important to you? Why you? And why not someone else? Why this? Why your solution or your product or your service, whatever it is? And why now? And why not 6 months from now? Sounds good? Yes. Okay, cool. So I asked you before, like, what about those voices? Like, are they encouraging in your voice? Do they cheer you on? Do they help you offer objective points of view? Now, I was like, if anyone was inside my head and would have heard the voices until I was about 26, they probably would have like put me in a mental home, because it was so horrible. Like, I didn't even realize until I had read The Secret. Has anyone read The Secret? That this was going on. Like, I didn't even know that this was happening inside my head, that this was what those voices were saying, because it was just so familiar to me. It was just my background music, the stuff that kind of accompanied me through life. But I didn't realize how negative it was and what impact it was having on my well-being. So just a little quick tip. If you have a voice inside your head that's not very nice, being aware of what it's saying is probably the first step. But when it starts to give you information, asking it to only ask you questions, okay? So when it's saying, you're shit, I can't believe you did that, like why did you do that? But it's not even a question, is it, when it's asking that question? It's like, that was really stupid. Like, and I had more expletives happening through that. But if you allow it to ask questions, then it can start to be helpful and objective. So it's like, okay, well, that didn't work. What could we do differently next time? Instead of, what'd you do that for? So getting into that space of helping to retrain that voice inside your head will 100% affect how that narrative's going, because that is with you all day, every day. So if it's being mean and nasty and holding you back and feeding your fears and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to get anywhere. So just use this little trick of being able to go in there and say, okay, what's the question there? And then ask the question, and then create some learning. Yeah, so why don't you ask for the sale or make the offer? Okay, most of us, it's because of fear of rejection, right? You want to hear the no, because what does that mean if someone says no to you? Most of us believe that they're rejecting us, right? It's not that they're rejecting the solution, but we've been brought up in this space where we maybe haven't got an internal way of knowing our worth. So our worth comes from an external validation. So we need to be getting it all the time from sources outside. And when people say that they don't want something that we've just given them, we then go, oh, that means they're rejecting me. Oh my God, they're rejecting me. That is horrible. Right? But are they rejecting you? No, they're rejecting the solution. They're rejecting the thing that you're giving them. And they're maybe haven't been able to see what the what the benefits are for them. But that's maybe coming from the fact that you're fearful of them saying no, so you're not doing your best job. For you to ask questions. But the fear of rejection is one that's so deeply ingrained in us. But this is like the modern day fear, right? So back in the day, whenever we were in our ancestors and we were living in cages, we live in cages now, mental cages, living in caves, we, that oldest part of our brain was to try and keep us safe. So we're constantly looking for threats and anything that might harm us. And as we've kind of evolved and moved through life, that part of our brain still is in there, clicking away, looking for stuff that's going to harm us. But most of the time, there's no physical harm that's going to happen, but it's mental harm. It's harm to our identity and who we think we are. So with the fear of rejection, our brains are pre-wired for this. They're like, okay, well, we don't want to be rejected, because if we get rejected and we get thrown out of our herd or our tribe, back in those days, that meant certain death. So we're programmed to fit in and not want to break the status quo. So we're fearful, okay? We don't want to be rejected. But most of all, you need to connect to your why me, why this, and why now. Because when we use that power to be something greater than ourselves, we make sure and get stuff done, yeah? Even when we're afraid, even when we're downhearted, and even when we're overwhelmed, we will do it because we know that there's something there that's greater than us. Every day there's a little thing comes on my phone that says 10,000 women need to find you. 10,000 women need you. So let them find you. And so the days when I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'm not getting anything back, people just are not responding, I have no idea, like, why am I bothering? And this thing flows up and I'm like, okay, all right, I just haven't found them yet, that's all. Okay, keep going. So let's just jump quickly wherever we're at with time. So what's your why? What's your biggest thing? Have any of you ever watched Simon Sinek YouTube talk? Well, it's a TED talk. And it was one of the things that kind of pinged for me, because it was like all these really successful companies, they were all wrapped around their why. It wasn't about the product, the features, the benefits. It was like, okay, well, what us as a company, what impact do we want to have on this world? What is it that we want to do? So what's the impact that you want to have on the world, that when you check out, that's what you've left behind? How do you want people to feel as a result of being with you or around you? Why you? Often people are like, yeah, I know my why, but they actually don't know why them specifically. So what is important for them, or me, or you, to mean that this is your job? This is your responsibility to do this. What is uniquely you that qualifies you to fulfill your bigger why? Why this? Why does your solution help create that impact? Do you believe in it? Do you know it deepest down that this is the solution for those people who have those problems? One of the things that I struggled with whenever I was doing recruitment on agency side is all sales was, I was never sure that I was going to be able to fill that position for the person. I was never sure of my ability to be able to create that employee for those people. So when I was picking up the phone, I was like, hey, use me, I'm amazing. I didn't believe that. Right? I didn't believe that the solution I was providing was going to actually work. And so that made it even harder for me to pick up the phone and go, hey, use me. So find out, like, what is it about your solution? What do you believe about it? Like, deep down, what do you truly believe? If you don't believe in it, maybe you need to find a different solution. Or maybe you need to find a way to be able to believe in it. And why now, right? So the biggest thing with everything to do with sales and everything in life is the sense of urgency. If there's no urgency on anything, it doesn't happen, it doesn't get done, right? If there's no date on something, like I know, like I'm terrible for this. So every time I do something now, I create a deadline. I put a date on it and I make it public so that I have to deliver, right? So why now? Why is this important to you now? Why do you have to create this solution now? Why do you have to get the people through your solution, using your products, all that kind of stuff now, and not in 6 months' time? What's going to change in 6 months' time? So here's a little quick exercise for you. So when you're driving, like, go in here and question these. If you want this slide, just drop it in the comments. I'll share it with you. So your why, what's the driving force behind you and what you're doing? Make a list of all the experiences, the trainings, the loves that are uniquely yours. And then with each one of those on the other side, write the benefit of others that will receive this. So if someone was to get access to this stuff that's uniquely yours, how would they benefit from it? Then make a list of, why you believe in your product, not its features, not its benefits, but what you believe it can do. Why you actually believe in it. What is it about it that just makes you go, yes? Like for me, I use neuro-linguistic programming, which is understanding the language of the mind and how that creates the patterns and behaviors we run in everyday life. And for me, I think every person should learn this. Every person needs to know how their brain works, so that if it doesn't work the way, or it doesn't create the outcomes that they want, they can change it. And then why now? What's the reasons for this to actually start today and not 6 months' time? Or I'll wait until here and blah, 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 all the excuses. Because when you've got answers to all these, the excuses don't matter. The doubt doesn't matter. The naysayers don't matter, because you're really connected and congruent to what it is you're trying to create. So I just, as I said at the beginning, if you're kind of saying, yes, this is all about, what's she doing? Is she in my head? Or I'd really like to know more about this. So as I said before, you need a soul ignition guidance system, right? And it's the most divine guided thing I've ever created. Like, I don't remember consciously creating this. It was just being downloaded through me, and the results are speaking for themselves. But if you were to join Soul Ignition, you'd be able to complete your reality check. So as I said before, when you've got all this stuff happening at an unconscious level, when you bring it to your conscious awareness, you can change it. So in part one of Soul Ignition, we go into exploring, like, what is actually going on in there? What are the limits? What are the things that are stopping you from achieving the things that you want in your life? We're going to start to uncover, like, what is your full potential? We'll start releasing some of those fears and those things that are holding you back. Then we're going to have a look at part two, really opening that window to your soul. So, some of the women who've been through the solution said, Elsa's like, you've gone in there and then you flicked a switch and you've lit up. You've lit me up. You've put a fire in my soul that was never there before. So you're going to take a look into your consciousness and start to uncover the unique version of leader for you. You'll dive into your soul guidance system so that you can unlock your intuitive ability to take inspiration and take inspired action and build a business from a place of wholeness and alignment. We'll rewire your unconscious contracts so that you can play big without shame or guilt, big emotions that hold people back massively. And we'll be able to wake your money magnetism, because you'll have let go of all that old story and old stuff that doesn't keeps you from actually knowing your worth and attracting that in. And then part three, we're going to create your divine blueprint. Hi, Virginia. We're going to connect your business so that it's something that you truly want to own, right? It's like, not because everyone said that that's what you should create, but because deep down you know that that's the version of the business that you're here to create. One of the participants, she was like creating her business with all this stuff because she spent so much time and energy building this part of her business, and she's like, I actually don't want to have that as my business. But she was so fearful of saying it out loud because she'd spent so long building it that she was like, ooh. And so she set that part down because she was like, I love doing that, but I don't want it to be part of my business. So she gave herself permission to let that part go. How amazing is that? Brilliant, right? How many of us are doing stuff out of, stupid contracts that we've made with people and situations? And you'll be able to build success habits that are going to create consistent results and grow your confidence and activate your courage stores, which are really important when you're trying to create something from a place of wholeness. So imagine your bank account filling up, you've got a customer list that's growing with ease, and you're feeling so confident in your ability to deliver and serve so that you can make the difference you know you're meant to. Sounds awesome, right? I know that's what I'm here to do. So this system is a complete game changer, not just in your business, but also in your life, because you can use these tools everywhere. So what's next? Like if you're, as I said, if you're like, yes, oh my God, this stuff, I totally need this. Come and grab a 30-minute session with me where I'll take you through, understanding a bit more about your whys, where the blockages are, and what might help to get you free from them. And, if Soul Ignition's for you, then brilliant. If not, you'll be able to go away with ideas and things that you can implement that'll help you create more fluidity in your business. So I've gone a little bit over time. I hope that's okay. Guys, I've loved sharing this stuff with you. And, as I said, please reach out if it's something that you're like, I want to make more sales. I want to feel more confident about it. I want to get rid of all this fear and inconsistency. Give me a shout. All right. You guys have a brilliant evening and hopefully speak soon. Bye.